Coming up in this bonus episode of The Unforgotten, Carol and I are going to talk about a special announcement. We're going to talk about a live show that's coming up soon. I'm going to tell you a little bit about some developments in my other podcast, Deviltown, and we're going to talk a little bit about future seasons of The Unforgotten. So stay tuned. Hello, I'm Wes Ferguson.
And I'm Carol Dawson.
And we are the co-hosts of The Unforgotten Season 1, The Labor Day Ghost.
I'm so glad to get to talk with you about this again, Wes.
Absolutely. So it's not going to be a long one, but we are very excited and we want to share the word that you have a special event coming up in just a couple weeks. You want to tell us all about it?
Yes, I do. There have been some developments since the last time we recorded an episode, and some of those developments I can share with you, the public, our listeners. Some of them I have to be a little more careful about. One of them is, though, the big announcement that Claire Sanneman and I are recording a live stream podcast in Currens, Texas on September 10th at the KISA, that is the Currens Ex-Student Association building in Currens, right around the corner from the bank where the bribery scheme was getting carried out during the whole Shelley Watkins murder case / E. Ray Andrews, the DA, bribery scheme that blew up and got the indictment quashed against Jerry Mack Watkins at the time. So it's all exciting because this is a location that actually was directly involved in the whole Shelley Watkins case and led to the case's limbo status, which it still enjoys or does not enjoy today. Another thing that I want to say is that during this live stream podcast, which we're very excited to present, it's part of Claire Sanneman's Texas Justice Tour event that she has been doing across the state in various locations over the past months since this past January. And the public is invited. Tickets need to be purchased in order to participate. And that's because it is all being live streamed and professionally recorded by Rogue Media Company, and they have to cover their expenses for production. Claire and I don't get any money out of this, needless to say. Does that sound familiar, Wes?
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah, you and I both know how that goes. We do this for love of justice. So it's not like we're earning any cash doing these particular events or these podcasts. But the Rogue Media Company does need to cover their expenses in bringing techs in to do the recording and do the presentation. It's going to be a 2-hour production, which will include a whole hour's worth of audience question and answers. Now, one of the more exciting things I can just announce as of an hour ago is that we're not only having one surprise guest, we're having two. Both of these people have been very, very directly involved or connected to this entire case. And the second one will be available to us via a phone-in. And this person will be able to answer audience questions directly. I'm not going to identify the gender of either of these people because we do want it to be a surprise, but we can assure audience members that it's going to be exciting for them to be able to connect directly with both of these people because both of these people are intimately involved in one way or another with the case itself.
Yeah, and folks will be able to directly connect with you. And they've been hearing your voice and telling this story and unraveling all these different details for years now. So it's a chance for them to directly ask you questions as well, right?
Well, absolutely. And I cannot wait to meet some of our listeners at this event because, it's one thing to have connections with people via Facebook, direct messaging and text and any number of other possibilities, but it's always faceless. It's always not in the flesh. And the thought of meeting up with our supporters who are part of the Justice for Shelley Facebook page, I am so thrilled and excited about that. I just cannot wait to meet all you folks, as many of you as can make it in the flesh, and be able to tell you some things that up until now I have not been able to share. And now I absolutely can share at least a chunk of information that I haven't been able to before.
Yeah.
So
Because you have at least one, maybe more real substantive announcements to make about the case. And they're things that you're not able to discuss during our, little call that we're having right now, but are things that you can reveal in 2 weeks, from what I understand, right?
that is absolutely true. One of them has to do with the possible reason why Shelley died at all. And Wes, it's a human thirst to find out reasons why for anything. And I can finally answer a question as to the probable reason that she had to forfeit her life, or that her life got forfeited. She didn't have to do it.
Right.
Her life got forfeited. And this has come from a variety of sources, completely separate from one another. And it's something that I am going to be able to share more completely on the night of September 10th. So I'm excited about that. It's one thing for hard science to be able to finally solve some of these cold case murders through DNA, and that's happening more and more as DNA technology has advanced. And we're going to talk about that some. The amazing new advances being deployed by law enforcement agencies here in the state of Texas, some of which have expanded a great deal since you and I started recording our original podcast, Wes. It's just amazing and eye-opening to me, the advances that are being made, the progress that's being made in finally having answers to so many of these terrible tragedies. But in addition to that, there is the human need, very real need. I certainly have had it, for motive. And motive used to play a big part in murder cases and solutions. Now that the hard science is there with DNA, it doesn't seem to play as large a part. And sometimes it's just random. But it's really satisfying for me to be able to determine more clearly the probable motive in this particular case, because it's quite real. And to have that confirmed, also confirmed by one of our mystery guests. That's exciting to me.
Yeah, that's great. I think you were saying when we were talking earlier, it's like, we have this strong human need for stories, basically. And you want emotional justice in addition to like actual science-based. And so DNA is kind of where the buck stops. It's like irrefutable in most cases. But one thing that we're able to fill in as journalists and as these podcast hosts and storytellers is the why. And so I am very excited that you're going to be able to spell that out for people in Currents.
I am too. I am too. There is a standard rule in journalism that when people come to you with information and it's strictly off the record, then you can't share it if just one or two people have told you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the rule of three. If you have got three different sources giving you the same information and new insight into that information, and they are all off the record, then you can go ahead and use that information. You can share it. And fortunately, in this particular case, it's four sources, and not all of them are off the record.
Right. Not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
If you want to join Carol and Claire and me in Currents for the Texas Justice Tour True Crime event, you can find tickets via our social media channels, whether that's Facebook, Instagram. We've put it out everywhere. You can also go to Eventbrite, which you probably know about. Search for the event and you can get tickets that way. And these tickets are important because they cover the expenses. As Carol mentioned, it's not lining her pockets, but it is all going to a good cause.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's the opposite of lining my pockets, actually.
Right. You're not even getting your gas.
No, nor my room.
So this is going to be the Texas Justice Tour true crime event in Currens, Texas, which is one of the little towns between Corsicana and Athens, where this whole story has played out. And you are going to be appearing live during this podcast event with our friend Claire Sanamont. And Claire is a very talented true crime producer. She used to work for, was it 48 Hours, right?
And 60 Minutes.
48 Hours and 60 Minutes. And she has hosted and produced her own true crime podcasts. And she is also the author of a new book that has been getting rave reviews called Killer Story, about her experience as a true crime producer. So it's going to be a big deal. And I'm excited for everyone to meet you and her. And I'm assuming I'm going to be there too in the audience cheering you along.
I hope you are. And believe me, if you can make it, you won't just be sitting in the audience. You will be dragged to the front. Because I know that there are plenty of people from that region, from that area, who would actually like to meet you as well.
Yeah.
I think that, finally putting our faces to everything that we have told the public and shared through our podcast
Mm-hmm.
is a privilege. It's an important thing, We aren't just a pair of voices.
Right.
I will also add about Claire's resume. She always blows me away. She's so talented and so smart, and has dedicated so much of her life to the pursuit of answers to cold cases. She's also a journalism professor at Baylor. And, there's a lot of folks around Corsicana who have attended Baylor or who have kids who are in Baylor. And it's really good to know that somebody is in that journalism department over there in Waco who is so experienced
Mm-hmm.
in national broadcast journalism.
And E. Ray Andrews was a proud Baylor Bear as well.
Oh, God. Was. Oh, yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I have spent most of my life avoiding makeup because I think it's too obvious. I don't like to look made up in a way that screams, I have makeup on. So when I got introduced to Jones Road Beauty, I was really impressed by how natural it looked on my face without hiding my natural features, but also enhancing them at the same time. So I've recently picked up a new color. I'm pretty excited about it. It's a pinky bronze, which is perfect for the summer. It's somehow both a blush and a highlighter and a bronzer all in one, which I really dig because then I'm not carrying a bunch of different stuff in my purse if I wanted to touch up later. It just makes me look healthy and natural, and that's really what I'm going for. I've also had my eye on a new product that Jones Road just came out with. They've recently launched a foundation stick that is kind of similar to the Miracle Balm in that it's giving you a little bit of coverage, not a full complicated routine, just your skin, but better. Modern day makeup that's clean, strategic, and multifunctional for an effortless routine. For a limited time, listeners of The Unforgotten are getting a free full-size mascara on their first purchase when they use code UNFORGOTTEN at checkout. So just head on down to jonesroadbeauty.com and use code UNFORGOTTEN at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them that The Unforgotten sent you. I've never really been a fan of makeup that looks like makeup. I prefer something a little subtle. And I'm pretty excited. I picked up a new Miracle Balm from Jones Road Beauty in the shade Pinky Bronze. And I love that it sort of acts as both a bronzer and a blush. Sometimes I even throw it on my lips when I'm just sort of in a rush. It just sort of gives me that glow that I'm looking for in the summertime in Texas. Not the sweaty glow, but that sort of wonderful glow you get when you're out and about. And it's so pretty. It's so simple. It's that no makeup look that I'm always looking for. I throw it in my bag and I'm done. I don't have to mess with 3 or 4 products. I've got it all in one. But I've been excited to see that Jones Road Beauty has just put out its new foundation stick. And it's really a skincare forward foundation, which delivers that buildable, real coverage while still looking natural on the skin. It's not dewy, it's not matte, it's just your skin, but better. Modern day makeup that's clean, strategic, and multifunctional for effortless routines. For a limited time, Listeners of The Unforgotten are getting a free full-size mascara with their first purchase when they use the code UNFORGOTTEN at checkout. Just head on down to jonesroadbeauty.com and use Unforgotten at checkout. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support the show and tell them The Unforgotten sent you.
There is one question that you and I have encountered from time to time, and that I'd like to just bring up very quickly on this particular bonus episode, because it's a question I've been recently asked by yet another interviewer. And that is, during the course of this entire podcast and our research and pursuit of the question of Shelley's murder, we've been asked, you and I both, I have been asked by a number of people in my hometown of Corsicana and Navarra County, have we ever been afraid? Have we ever worried about our own safety while we pursued this question? Because the idea that it might have aroused not only anger, but a need to silence us or some kind of vengeance has occurred in the minds of various Corsicanans, because they're right there on the ground where this took place in the first place. And they know some of the important characters involved. And they are familiar with certain methods of intimidation and suppression in Corsicana. A number of them having endured that sense of intimidation that kept them silent for a very long time. So I would just like to say, I just got asked this question by a journalist who was interviewing me this past Friday in the UK. And I will say in this podcast what I said to her, and that is, nope, I have never been afraid for my own safety, because I'm not going to live that way. And besides that, anything that ever happened to me, everybody would know exactly where it came from. But you and I both, Wes, have experienced concern on the part of our spouses about this. I just wonder if you'd like to address that a little bit yourself.
Well, I know we had a lot of conversations about that. Your husband and my wife were both like, wait, what are you doing? No, I wasn't ever concerned, in like the bigger picture sense. I will say, now that I've thought about it more, like when I went into that bar with the moon tower or whatever it was called, and that good old boy was like on my case, I will admit I was a little scared at that point. I was ready to get out of there. But as far as fear from, poking our nose where it don't belong and, telling this story, no, I've never felt any concern about that. And I've been heartened by the fact that so many other people are starting to be less fearful and have come forward to share what they know with you and with me. And it has made a big difference in helping us tell the story and helping us find, hopefully, justice for Shelley, and fingers crossed very soon.
Exactly. That is our purpose. That is the main point. By the way, Wes, I need to remember to share with you that my book, The Labor Day Ghost, is being published by the University of Texas Press.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. The book is in production at this moment. It will be sharing even further details that we have not yet shared in the podcast. It has been closely examined by two different sets of attorneys, I'm proud to say, who have made sure that everything I state is very well researched and backed up and with lots of attributions, and therefore is legally sound. And it gets released on March 2nd. So I'm really looking forward to coming back to Corsicana.
Yeah.
And sharing that book with everybody in Navarra County and elsewhere all over Texas. And as it's going now, I hope an even wider reach than that. So looking forward to that. The book gets released March 2nd. It will be available on Amazon, in bookstores, and I look forward to meeting everybody again then.
Yeah, and if I know you didn't pull any punches, so it'll be worth the read.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a big thing to get off my chest.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So while I've got listeners with us, I also want to mention that We are working on 2 new seasons of The Unforgotten. One is going to bring us back to Corsicana, and Carol, you are going to be the host of that. I don't really want to give away too much about it right now, but we're hoping to bring it out pretty soon. And then we're also working on another season of the show about a case out of Arlington, Texas, that I think people will find extremely interesting. Those are coming out soon. And then also we have started releasing new episodes of our other podcast, Deviltown. And Deviltown is a show that I first worked on back in 2022. And if you haven't listened to it, it's about the disappearance of Kelly Wilson, a high school senior from Gilmer, Texas, up in East Texas, where I'm from. I grew up a couple towns south of there. And she disappeared from the town square after her night shift at the local video rental shop was never seen again. Half the town became convinced that she had been kidnapped, murdered, and cannibalized by this family of devil worshipers out in the woods outside of town. None of that was true, but there was such a hysteria around it that the investigation, like the search for Kelly, kind of got lost in all of that madness. And here we are more than 3 decades later, still trying to find out what happened to her. And I created Deviltown several years ago, and it ended on a big cliffhanger. I was chasing this lead. I was really excited about it. And it was like, tune in next time and we'll tell you everything. And then the company I worked for just stopped making podcasts. And so it's just been like radio silence from me on that for like 4 years. And it always bothered me that I left that so unresolved. And so I spent years negotiating with the studio that owns Deviltown to license the show back to me so I can pick the story back up, pick the case back up. And so we are investigating again. We are talking to people, releasing new episodes. And so Deviltown, the new episodes are coming out now. We've released 2 already, and we have several more lined up over the next couple of months. So if you've been listening to The Unforgotten, I hope that you will also check out Deviltown, because it's a very worthwhile story.
I am so excited at the return of Deviltown because, Wes, that's how I first encountered you, was through listening to Deviltown after my good friends had recommended you as a podcaster to whom I could bring my story of Shelley's case. And, the things that wind up clouding murder investigations, whether it's a corrupt DA who has succumbed to the possibility of a bribe, or whether it is an investigation into Satan worship in the deep piney woods of East Texas that wind up clouding everybody's proper investigation of why this young girl disappeared and what in the world happened to her. One way or the other, I love the fact that it has become our job to do as much as we can and contribute as much as we can to these cases. And the fact that so many people are willing to come forward and help with these investigations by talking to us, by talking to law enforcement, makes it all very worthwhile.
Absolutely. It's funny, now that Deviltown is back, I am again hearing from lots and lots of people that are coming out of the woodworks. It's something about Kelly Wilson's story that has resonated with many people for decades. I'm very grateful to people that are coming to me now with new leads to track down, things that maybe they hadn't told anybody in the past. It's all very helpful.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm very happy about that.
Thank you for listening to this little bonus episode. The Unforgotten is a free-range production. Season 1, The Labor Day Ghost, was created and hosted by me and my friend Carol Dawson. This episode was produced by Aislinn Gaddis. Thank you for listening. And remember, the special live show is coming up September 10th in Kearns, Texas.
Thank you for joining us.